What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Planet Zoo. It's been a week, a little more than a week, actually. But we are back here in Riverbanks, which is my franchise zoo that I have been designing. And we're trying to create a realistic park. First I was saying the most realistic park, but at this point I'm just trying to build a realistic looking zoo, really. I say park because I'm so used to playing Planet Coaster, and I'm playing Planet Zoo now. So, anywho, what we're going to do today, what you're seeing me do right now at this very moment, is we are adding the bathrooms onto here. I kind of feel like our zoo has gotten to the point where bathrooms are kind of needed. I was holding off on these because I didn't feel like we needed them really at first, but now I've been seeing people kind of doing the pee-pee dance as they go around the zoo, so I figured now would be probably a good time to add this in there. And this was basically where I had planned on doing this specific area the entire time, was right here as soon as you walk into the zoo on the right. I guess if you're walking in, it would be on your right side. So probably what we're going to do for the next episode is most likely do the interiors of our entrance there. We have two buildings, one on each side, the shop and guest relations and stuff like that. So we'll probably work on the interiors on those maybe next time. Alright, so anyway, I'm not going to bore you guys to death with a whole lot of just rambling today. I'm just gonna say pretty much kind of what we're gonna be doing today, and then we're gonna let the time lapse go while you listen to some smooth Zoo Tycoon 2 soundtrack. Some of you guys out there, I've been getting a lot of comments that you like the fact that I use the Zoo Tycoon 2 music for my Planet Zoo videos. So we'll do that occasionally. Today is gonna be one of those, and yeah, other than just building a bathroom, we actually have, it's a big project here that I'm working on for you today that we're going to get started on in just a moment. So I asked on YouTube, I took a poll to ask you guys what you think the next animal in the zoo should be. I really thought that you guys would choose lemurs or red pandas, because those seem to be like some of the most popular animals that I feel like people want to see in Planet Zoo. But you guys actually voted for bears, which surprised me because almost every single time I've done a Planet Zoo park or a zoo per se, I always usually go with bears. I've done probably like 4 or 5 different bear habitats and since I've started playing Planet Zoo. But yeah, you guys want to see more bears, so we're gonna do more bears for you today. Da bears. Anywho, like I said, we're going to get started on that just like right now, actually, as you're seeing on the screen there. So this was a tough one because I actually probably spent more money on this than I did at the actual the reptile and amphibian center, which isn't done yet. I know that I said that would probably take like 3 episodes, and most likely it is going to take about 3 episodes to finish that up. It's not exactly going to be like in a row though, so my plan was to keep working on that until it was completely finished, like all of it. But I'll be honest, I really don't know kind of where I want to take it now that the front of it is done. I have an idea for like one area of it, but I don't really know what I want the rest of it to look like, so I need to think about that some more. That's basically why I didn't do a video last weekend on this, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to build, so we did some other things instead. We did some city skylines and some Planet Coaster. The last few days, I've actually, I guess you could say the reason why I haven't had a video in a while is because I haven't been really feeling well. I've been waking up every single morning for the last several days, and by several, I don't mean 2. I literally mean like for the last week and a half. I've woken up with like an extreme headache that just doesn't want to go away. I've been taking Excedrin, ibuprofen, things like that, and it lessens it, but it's not going away. So yeah, it's been a little tough. Plus there's been some other things that's kind of been going on and things like that, and I'm just haven't really been feeling all building and stuff. I've been building, but it's slow, and it's been a slow process and stuff. This is hours and hours of footage that you guys are seeing here, and this is of course after that. You know, what this doesn't include, what this footage I should say doesn't actually include, is me thinking about what it is I'm going to do. This is just the actual building and stuff that I'm doing. It doesn't actually include any of the just me, you know, kind of doing research and kind of thinking about how it's going to work, and just sitting there and looking at the zoo and being like, what if we do this, and just kind of planning it out in my head and things like that. So this just kind of formed naturally, really. I kind of had some thoughts on where I wanted to go, and then, as typical, I usually just kind of let it, you know, I start with what my thoughts are, and it just flows naturally from there. But it was a slow build because there was a lot of thinking and things included in this that I had to figure out how to do, and some problems and stuff I had to solve. But I am very happy with the results, and I hope you guys will be too. I, of course, will be back at the end of this to kind of go over everything and show everything off. But I'm pretty happy with it. So I will say that what we're doing, like I said, you asked for bears, so we're going to do some more bears. I'm doing the Formosan black bears, but I really don't like the fact that they're Asian. So I kind of want to do black bears, and I just want to do North American black bears, but we don't have North American black bears. We have Formosan black bears. And the only difference that I'm really seeing between these and North American black bears is that they like more Asian trees. So yeah, I've kind of looked at like some black bears that are in, like, say, Tennessee or something like that, and I mean there's not a huge difference looks wise in the game between the game versions of those and what black bears would probably look like in the game that are North American black bears. So yeah, for this we're going to say these are North American black bears that you would find in, say, like Tennessee, or, you know, anywhere in the US or possibly in Canada. That's pretty much what we're gonna go with, and I like it, and it's my zoo, so what I say goes. Yeah, and of course it doesn't actually really matter much as far as like the Planco signs and stuff. I say Planco, but I meant Plan Zoo. The Planet Zoo signs and stuff are all written in the Planet Coaster Planet Zoo language, so, you know, I mean, it's basically rambling, and that, you know, I would be like, I could still put the signs down because it still has the pictures of the bears and stuff on it, and it works enough for me. It's you know, it's implied. But yeah, that's basically what we're gonna be doing. So what you're seeing me do now is kind of the outskirts of this, and a lot of this habitat is very much based upon Knoxville Zoo. I think that they have probably one of the coolest, like, black bear habitats that I've seen. I looked at a lot of different bear, like, enclosures and things like that, and I really liked the Knoxville Zoo ones. To me, that's the one that really stood out to me as far as, like, the best one, and that's the one I'm basing this off of. Of course, I am taking my own liberties and things with it, but it's pretty much based on that. So yeah, you guys will see all the construction and stuff for this, and hopefully you guys like it. And like I said, it was a complicated build as well. Almost as complicated, if not costing me more than what the Amphibian Center did, because the Amphibian Center was a lot of wood and, like, abstract shapes and things like that. That's what that was built out of. This is built out of rocks mostly for this enclosure, and rocks and trees and other things like that are a lot more expensive than what the wood and the abstract shapes and stuff are for that one. So, like, I think I started this with somewhere around close to $40 million. No, 40,000. I think I started with around $40,000 when I started building this habitat, and I ended up, like, at 6,000 by the end of it, and then somewhere around another, I ended up getting another, like, putting probably another 10,000 into it, just from, like, letting the game play and getting some more money and stuff, and then adding more rocks and things like that. So it was an expensive build, a very, very expensive build for the zoo. And yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why it's complicated. Plus, I had to go and change a lot of things and stuff too after the fact. So there was a lot of things I was just trying to get the bears to, like, I built it slightly too small, so I had to figure out how to get the space and stuff that I needed that to make the bears actually happy. And I also built, like, you'll see me kind of a little bit of it in the video here, where I have like this little creek bed and like a small stream that kind of runs through the enclosure. And I ended up getting rid of that because the black bears don't want the swimming space. They don't want the water. And I noticed that by taking the water out, it put me almost at where I needed to be for enclosure size than having it there. So I still used a small pond, shall we call it, where like I use at the very end of the time lapse, you'll see kind of what I'm doing with that. I did a kind of a small pond where a waterfall area is on the inside as well as the waterfall area on the outside of the enclosure. So I really like the water features and stuff in that, and I wanted to do kind of on the outside of it, I wanted something to kind of draw people's attention over this way, and water features are good for that, I feel. So I wanted that water feature in the waterfalls. If you've looked at the Knoxville Zoo Black Bear Falls is what they call it, there's this like huge waterfalls like right outside of where you go in to actually look at the bears, and I find that really, really cool. So I wanted to kind of do something like that, but I also wanted a small waterfall on the inside of the enclosure as well. So we kind of have both, and I think the way that I did it works really, really well. Yeah, so I'm not going to kind of go on and on and on. That's the reason why you guys haven't gotten a video from me from Planet Zoo in the last little bit, as well as the reason why you haven't seen hardly any videos from me over the last while, is just basically health issues, just headaches and stuff. I mean, I've been playing, but it's been slow, and just like I would sit down and just like the headache would just destroy me. So, well, my air conditioner just popped on, so that's my cue to go ahead and head out of here. I'm going to let you guys watch the time lapse and the construction of all of this, and I am going to throw on some music here for you and kind of, I guess, turn the music up a little bit, let you guys watch this, and then we'll do a live viewing of it here in just a moment as I go over the enclosure and talk about it a little more. So anyway, here you guys go. Enjoy. Alrighty guys, here we are in our live view. I'm going to go over a few things that's changed since the last episode. I appreciate you guys sticking around until the end to watch this. Or if you just fast forwarded through the time lapse to get to this point, that's fine, I suppose. I'd prefer you watch the entire video, but you know, I understand that you guys don't. So let's go ahead and jump into Riverside here. So in we go, and one of the first things I've done, as you can see, is I have these little walls. Oh, they've broken my benches. Okay, I'm going to have to get some security guards. Alright, anywho. I've put these little walls up right here on the sides. I've also fixed up our center area here, right before the steps going up to the reptile center. I've moved these, our signs here, educational signs, from the corners. There used to be one over here and one over here. I've moved them right here because I feel that they fit a little better right there in that area. I've also altered our steps a little bit here too, to make that a little more realistic and to kind of cover up the gaps and stuff in between the steps and stuff. So I think that works out pretty good. I'm going to continue on probably before the next episode and finish up the outside of the front of the reptile center and do all that stuff up in there. Let's head over here. So I have also, as you saw in the video, I've done some work here on the bathrooms. We've added those, and there are actually bathrooms inside there now. As you can see, our guest is walking through the wall to get to it. I really wish we had those barricades that Planet Coaster has, where we can actually make the guests go where we want. I wonder how long it's going to take them to actually give us that in this game, because they're highly needed. And then, of course, we have the outside of our bear enclosure here, as you can see, with our working falls there. We got a mechanic coming out of there, as we do have right here behind our wooden fence is our water. And then inside of this building is also a couple of other things in there too. I think I put a power station in there as well. So, and then we have the gate that goes into the enclosure right there too. On the top of the building, you can see I've done my best. This was something when I built this enclosure, I wasn't really thinking about how I was going to hide the rock walls right there. Like I said, it just kind of, as I was building it, it just kind of started flowing. So I wasn't sure how, once I got done with it, I was like, oh man, I'm going to have these big rock walls sticking up right there. Luckily, I found some trees and stuff that I could put up around that to kind of hide most of the rock area. So we'll step over here into this as we take a look at our little falls here. And I use the splashdown water effect and positioned it just right so that it actually looks like there's actually water in the pool, even though there's not. That works out really, really well. Pretty happy with how that turns out. They have this in Planet Coaster, but it doesn't look nearly as good as the effect does here in Planet Zoo. So I've also done some curving and some mulch around the edges there to kind of fill the gaps in and things. And we'll head around over this way. And here you will see we have the actual bear enclosure, which is extremely popular. People are loving the bear enclosure. I don't see... Okay, yeah, there's one bear back there, and then I even see a little baby bear running around too. So in the process of working on this and doing everything else, my bears ended up mating, and I have 2 baby bears. So we also have the rock cave that goes up around the outside of the enclosure there. You can kind of see there's so you can kind of look at it just like the Knoxville Zoo, where it has a walkway that goes above, so you can get kind of a view down from above looking into the enclosure, as well as the glass one here looking into it. And then we keep continuing around this way, and you saw me building this in the video as well. This is the giant tree, the hollow log that you can walk into and get more of a view inside the enclosure. Oh, there goes one of my baby bears. And as you can see here, we have the educational sign right there. I'm probably going to put a couple more of these on the outside around as well. but for now, this is the only place that has it. Looking into the enclosure here, you can see the gaps up there where the guests are walking around the top of it, as well as into our bear caves. And we will step out, go around down here to the bottom where we have more of looking into the enclosure. Down here, this is where I put the food enrichment there with the rolling log, I think is what they call that. Rolling feeder, I think is pretty much the name of it. This is the most spacious area down here. I put these climbing trees in there. The trees with the branches kind of cut off. And it says they are climbable, but I've not seen these bears actually use them, like ever, so I don't know if they will or not. But when you actually click on a bear and click on the habitat and go in and look, you can actually see that they are listed as being climbable inside the habitat. So, but yeah, apparently the bears just aren't using them. They will, however, walk up the ramp and go around to the little top area I have up there. They definitely will do that. And then over here we have the rest of the cave area right there. I still have a little more work to do on this as far as like doing some edging work and things like that, but I think it kind of works. So we're going to go above and we're going to go into the enclosure here and check it out. So as I said, we have up here, we have these little viewing areas up here that looks down into the enclosure. And then there's another one over here that does the same thing. Kind of wish I'd put one over here, but we have this little area right here where the bears can kind of walk up here and look around and have some fun in their enclosure. So I started with two. I started with a male and a female, Bart and Betty Bear. They had two offspring, a male and a female. I'm keeping the male one. The female one's stats weren't they just weren't that good. So I'm going to end up selling the female as soon as they are old enough to get rid of. And we're going to keep this little guy, or the other little guy. I don't know which one's the male here. But we're going to keep the male out of them. So if you guys have any names that you would think would be a good fitting name for a black bear, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear them. And maybe one lucky viewer will get a bear with the name that they choose. Let's see what else to show in here. Yeah, like I said, these trees, they are supposed to be climbable. I've not seen them actually climb them, so there is that. We have the outside of the viewing area, the hollow tree here. And I really like how this turned out. This came out really, really good. It was something that I worked really, really hard on, and you saw me building it in the video, in the time-lapse, but before the time-lapse video and stuff, I actually basically kind of figured out how this was going to work off-screen, and I pretty much built the entire thing off-screen first before building the time-lapse video. I just want to see, you know, how I could do it, if it would look right. And this is the closest I could get to actually making something look fairly realistic as far as a log that you can kind of walk in and go through. So, and then our second little waterfall area that we have over here. So, I should probably put a splashdown pool inside of this as well, like I do on the outside over on the other thing there. So, where it kind of looks like the water is moving. I wish it wasn't raining so you guys could see everything a little better. It constantly is snowing or raining in my zoo, and if I was playing in sandbox mode, I could actually set the weather to whatever I want, but since this is franchise mode, I don't have that option, so I kind of just have to go with it, and this is what we get. For our toy enrichment, I put the fire hose ball in here, and they seem to like that quite a bit. It actually is supposed to sit over here, but they've moved it around, and it's over there at the moment. They seem to be very playful. They're also extremely happy. It took me a while to kind of mess around with the rocks and stuff to get them where they could actually climb up here. This was really tricky. I don't know why it was tricky, but it was. I literally had to place them just the right way and with just the right width and everything to get them, the bears, to actually go up there, because I had to move each individual piece of stone until it worked, and I had to keep going back in and clicking on the animal and unpausing the game to see if that works and what doesn't. And now we'll go inside the bear cave here where our zookeeper is coming out of. Looks like he just got done feeding them, so we need a cleaner in here. We'll wait for just a moment here until it gets daylight again. I guess that's about the best we're going to get in here. We have a water thing over here. I like to use this for the water. I've pretty much used it for almost every single one of the enclosures. And then the feeding station right here. Wow, they really ate that up. That was unexpected. And then we have the other feeding thing out there, which is the enrichment one. You can kind of see some of the trees poking through the bottom or the top of the roof here, which is fine. It's nobody's really going to be paying attention to that part anyway, so not really worried about that. And then we have, it looks like our mechanic needs to get out there and work on the water thing. The water pump is malfunctioning, so he needs to get out there and work on that. But this is the gate that goes outside. There's the vet coming in to check on some stuff. And out here back to the front again. So far we have in our zoo, I want to zoom out here to give you guys an overview to kind of see which that way. I know some of you guys like to see overviews and stuff for the zoo. So what we have so far is we have our black bears. We have our entrance over here. We have the reptile center up there, which is still a work in progress. And we have the peacocks over here with their walkthrough exhibit. We have most of the keeper stations and everything is over here, the staff, all that. And I've got a ton of peacocks that are slowly aging, and once I've got so many that it's hard to keep track of them at this point, and I'm trying to get rid of a bunch of them. I just got to wait for them to grow up so I can actually, like, you know, trade them off. And then inside of here we have our snails. So that's the animals that we have so far in our exhibit. Oh, I still had to go up to the other one. There's Snowy. You guys remember Snowy, right? There's a new one now. We have another baby albino peacock in our zoo. So I don't know where she's at right now, but she's in here somewhere. There she goes, right up there. So yeah, we have a second albino. And we will go back over here to the front. And let's head up into the amphibian center once again. And like I said, probably this is going to get some touch-ups before the next video. We're probably going to work on the gardens and stuff. And actually, let me ask you guys right now, for those who are still paying attention to me talking and watching the video, would you guys be interested in seeing a video of me fixing the front of this right here? Or would you rather just see the habitats and the main things being constructed in time-lapse videos? Because I could totally do a video of just doing like this and working on some little small details if that's what you guys would like to see. So I could totally do that. I'm not sure what it's going to look like just yet, but we're going to do some planters and some foliage work and stuff like that in there. And inside our amphibian center is our tortoises. Our abracadabra tortoises. Algebra turtles. Alright, so, and one of my viewers pointed out to me the fact that the tortoises actually don't need the water. Like, they actually don't swim. And I was like, what? I ended up looking it up, and he was actually right. So, yeah. Cool beans on that one. I appreciate you letting me know that, because I'm not going to change it, though, because I still think the water looks good here. And it basically looks like a beach, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So, we're going to keep the water. But they actually don't need it. and they don't want it, and it actually they don't want to even swim. So for some reason I haven't had any baby tortoises yet. These two have mated a couple of times, but I haven't gotten any offspring, so I'm still waiting on that. Wow, he's gobbling down that food. I can hear it from way over there. So that's basically a good tour of what we have so far. I'm going to head back over to the bears since that was the main thing of this video. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and this look at our newest addition to our zoo here, to Riverside Zoo. Bart and Betty Bear and their two offspring. So, and again, if you guys know a good name for our male cub that we have over here, I would love to hear that. Make sure you put those comments down below. Also, make sure comment, like, subscribe, do all that stuff like that. And yeah, that's extremely helpful to the channel because it gets my stuff out there so more people see it. So if you want to help the channel, and that is a good way to do it, is just, you know, hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. So I'm out of here, guys. Thank you for watching. I very much appreciate it. I will see you in the next Planet Zoo video. We'll probably going to be doing some city skylines and some Planet Coaster this weekend. Hope to kind of get maybe a couple videos out for that, but we will see. Like I said, I'm not going to make promises anymore. I'm trying to do videos when I can. I also just started back to work too, so I don't know how much free time I'm going to have. Right now, I'm only expected to work 8 hours this week, and I don't know what's going to change or anything with that. So, but I hope that the headaches and stuff stop so I can get a lot more work and stuff done. And I've been trying to do like multiple videos in a day, but the last week or so I just haven't felt up to it, and it's been really hard going. But thank you guys for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. I am going to head out of here. Wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thanks for watching.